Okay, well, welcome to our second career coffee chat. In this coffee chat today, we're going to be going over Handshake, which is our job and internship database, and also best practices and tips for our students navigating virtual job fairs. So all of our job fairs this semester will be virtual and hosted on Handshake. We just finished our first fair on Tuesday, so we do have some feedback and some ideas of what that process looks like and best practices moving forward. So be happy to share some of those kind of results with you, and then also answer any of your questions. My name is Anita Manuel, and I am the Associate Director for Career Education here at the Career Center. And I'm excited to be able to chat with you today. Just so you know, this webinar is being recorded. I'll record the first portion, which is basically kind of giving you an overview of the resources and a quick demo. And then we will open it up for just Q&A. Again, this is a chat. It's much more informal. It's not like a formal webinar presentation. While I'm kind of going through some information, if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand, or even you can unmute yourself so we can chat here. But I won't be recording the actual Q&A time. So if you wanted to share your video and you're worried about maybe being on camera, don't worry about that because we won't be recording that piece. So let's get started. Hopefully you have a cup of coffee. I have mine here. I could probably call this the lunch session as well, since we are at noon. So let's jump right into it. What is Handshake? So Handshake, think of Handshake as a combination of a LinkedIn and Facebook system that's focused on early talent acquisition. So the look and feel of Handshake is very much like what you would see in LinkedIn, as far as profiles of students that include their professional pictures if they have any. They're able to include kind of like an online portfolio of work. They can upload their resumes and documents, and employers are able to sift through and search those profiles for specific employment needs. The Facebook piece of it comes into play because it's an interactive platform in which students can actually ask questions of employers when they have a Q&A section on a lot of the employer profiles. They can look at previous reviews from other students who had interned or worked at those organizations. And so that is more of like the social media, social sharing piece that is also a feature that you can find on Handshake. There's 30,000 employers that are registered, both nationwide, some globally, that are looking at hiring our students, and they represent all industries. You can search locally or nationally, but these are kind of the highlights of why Handshake is a system that we find really beneficial for our students, and where most employers are going to look for early talent, so college, new grads, and graduate students. In the Handshake app, you will see opportunities. So students can, this is their probably #1 resource to find internships, jobs, whether there's their, first entry-level career positions, or any job to kind of, help support them while they're going through their college process. Part-time, full-time, volunteer opportunities are also posted. Fellowship opportunities can be posted. We also have departments on campus post work study positions, as well as any other on-campus positions. So if you have a position that you're hiring for, whether it's a student position or a research assistant, you can post positions here as well. There's no cost to do so. And what's really great is there's now a way to search for positions by remote. So if you're looking for remote options, which is the only option right now most of us can look for internships and jobs, this is probably an easy way for students to narrow down those opportunities. This is also a platform where you can search for events. So our students can find employer connection events. That includes our virtual career fairs that we host, but any other employer connection events, whether it's information sessions for individual employers, any conferences that are taking place, we know that students really should be looking at other networking avenues beyond just direct employment events. So if there's a conference, a challenge going on, we will post those if they're open to students. And then also career education events. So resume workshops, job fair success workshops, career panels, all of those are also posted in the events section. A big change is that we no longer host our appointment scheduler through Handshake. So before, when your students wanted to make an appointment with us, they would go into Handshake as well, and there was an option to make appointments with our team. We just transitioned all of our appointments into EAB Spartan Connect. The thing that you can really help us with, if you're thinking, you know, how can I best ensure that students are getting the most out of the Handshake platform? And this is a direct quote from our employer relations assistant director, who's constantly talking to employers to get them interested in recruiting on campus and connecting with our students. So the number one thing that she has found that makes a difference in employers being able to find talent and connect with our students is the actual profile in Handshake. So that student profile, please encourage your students to update it and fill it out completely. Because this is how employers are using the platform on the search end when they're looking for talent. They're doing keyword searches like they would do on LinkedIn or any other job search platform. And if that student does not fill out their profile, if they're searching for categories like experience, class projects, classes, skills, then they won't actually show up in those searches. So the more that they can fill out their profiles, the better. Okay, so let's do a little bit of intro into what this actually looks like in Handshake. Students can access Handshake from our website. There's also a direct link, sjsu.joinhandshake.com. Once they log in, this is what their homepage will look like. There are several areas that they can look at. The jobs tab, the first tile, is actually where they look at the job and internship database. Career pathways, the fourth tile in, is a great resource if they're wanting to explore what job titles are related to different bigger career pathways or industry clusters. And then the events is where they'll go to find the job fairs. Once they click on events, they're going to get this sub tab at the top there, and the quickest way to find the fairs is to click on career fairs. And then all of the career fairs that we're hosting will pop up. It will literally just be a hyperlink. They can click on the one that they're interested in, and it will open up the registration page. So I picked the part-time fair. This is what it looks like. It'll give you a little information about the fair and then when the registration opens. So this one has already passed, but the registration opened at noon on August 19th. You click on the register button over there. And this is an important piece. It will remind students about their profile visibility, and this is in their settings. So you automatically, when you have your account in Handshake, your settings are all private. So if you want an employer to be able to see your profile, if you want to be able to engage with alumni or even students from other institutions, you would have to actually change your privacy profile setting to a community setting. In this case, when students are actively looking for positions, I would recommend that they set their privacy setting to employers so that employers can see their profiles. That's the only way that they can be searched and found, unless they're directly applying to positions. But for scheduling the sessions with employers for the virtual fair, because there's two options of a group session or a one-on-one, students would have to change their setting to community if they'd like to be able to participate in those group sessions. If they don't want to participate in group sessions at all and only want to do one-on-one, then they would just select employers as their option. So in my situation, I want to be able to do any kind of engagement with employer, both group and one-on-one, so I'm going to change my setting to community. And then once that's done, it will allow me to actually schedule my one-on-one session with the employer. So it'll give me the name of the employer and then the actual name of those employers who are interviewing and the times. And so let's say, you know, I definitely want to meet with the owner and managing director of this group. So I'm going to pick Kevin, and maybe the time that works best for me is lunchtime. It's between my classes and I can do a quick 10-minute interview at that time. So once the student clicks on that time, that confirms their schedule. And then when they log back into Handshake, it'll show when they click on events, their upcoming schedule for interviews. And the day of, 10 minutes before their interview starts, they can just click on that link and it will actually open up their video chat room where they can talk directly with the employers. Okay, so it's time to do the demo. I'm gonna go out of this PowerPoint presentation and into our website just so that you can see where the resources are to help prep your students for fairs, where you can find the job fair schedule. We have some guides and apps that are really helpful for students if they've never written a resume before, or they're not quite sure what the common questions could be for an interview process. And everything that we'll talk about you can directly find on our website, which is sjsu.edu/career center. And then you can either click on career fair and events, which is on our homepage. It's an actual tile, or you can click on resources and get to the same place. And hopefully no one will be injured during this demo. So just like Beaker, you will be fine, but we will have some fun. So hopefully you are seeing the website at this point in time, and you can just maybe pop into the chat if you cannot see that. And if you're familiar with our website, we did upgrade it and switch it over to the new template that the university is using. So if some of the pages you had were bookmarked or it looks different, yes, things have moved. Everything that you will need will either be under the educators page, or you can also find under the resources page. But for the sake of today, we will go directly into career fairs and events tile. And this is where your students can find all the information they need for upcoming events. This is a listing of all the job fair and events. This is a live feed from Handshake, so if they want to see what that looks like, and then also a PDF handout of the upcoming events. So it'll give the dates and times of when the events are happening, a little descriptor, and then if they want to attend a job fair success workshop to prep, we have another one coming up on September 14th, and then they can just register for that through Handshake. The other piece here is we've mentioned to them that all the fairs have gone virtual, so registration is required to attend. When they click on this link, it'll actually give them very specific instructions as to what a virtual job fair is, top tips for getting started. Please save the date. So again, the listing of the fairs and also when their registrations open. So for example, the next fair is on the 22nd. Registration for this STEM undergraduate fair will open at noon on September 9th. So that will open up soon. If they don't have any idea how to register, there's a whole tutorial on that. And then finally, if they're ready and they don't know what to do next, or they can't make the live webinar for the Job Fair Success Workshop, we have it recorded here. And this basically tells them how to research the employers, how to develop their pitch, how to do the thank you notes, how to connect on LinkedIn. So I think this is about 45 minutes long, and you're welcome to use this or share it or put it in your Canvas course if you'd like to assign your students to review it before a fair. So that was the job fair piece. The other area that I want to share with you is the resources to help prepare. So if you want your students to know how to log into Handshake, all of our resources are listed here. So exploring options, we have a major exploration career guide, our assessments, so online values assessment, online personality and interest assessment, building experience plan, build your brand. So this is where they want information on resume and cover letter. They can click on this and it will give them, all of our guides look the same. And if they already know where they want to go, let's say like, I already know formatting and samples, I don't know what action verbs are, it will directly take them to that section so they don't have to scroll through the whole thing. But the nice thing about this is there are samples by major. So if they need an example of a resume, they can click on any one of these and it will bring up a resume sample for them to get started. Finding a job or internship, that's the topic we're talking about. There's a job and internship guide. And then of course the SJSU Handshake app. So if they click on it, it takes them directly into Handshake and they can log in. It's single sign-on, so they just use their same single sign-on. 9-digit tower card number, their password, it logs them in. And then here is where I can actually start looking at the fair. So this is exactly what we looked at before. You'll see these are updated events. There's a coding challenge. We're having Ernst Young is having a virtual pop-up event. So there are a lot of other ways to connect with employers besides just fairs. I think this is one of the biggest misconceptions students have. But then if I click on career fair, this is where you can see the registration pieces that we talked about. I do want to quickly show you the career path tab because I do think that this is good for exploration. So a lot of times when we meet with students, they'll say, you know, I have no idea like what job titles exist or jobs exist for, you know, my major, like if it's not directly applied. Someone mentioned something about being a product manager. I don't know anything about that. What does that mean? So you can actually click on this and it will give you an overview of what, you know, a product manager does, and then the jobs that are related that include product management in their job description. So instead of just giving me an overview, I can also click in to positions that are open now and get an idea of like what this means. So what is a product analyst? It will give me information about the role, the job summary. I can read the full description, the skill sets that are required. So now I can start having a more realistic view of what that means. And similar jobs that I might be interested in. So if I said, yeah, I kind of like that, I want to learn more, instead of going back and having to search for it, the system will start showing me similar positions. We didn't search by location. Right now we're just searching by topic, and I can save these if I want to refer them back for the sake of exploration. But once I have a better idea of job titles, then I can use those in my actual job search. So then I might go over here to jobs and start looking for internships. So you can see the filters here of how students can look for their positions. If students are looking just for work study roles, you can just select that and only work study roles will come up. If there's work authorization, like if you have international students who are looking for employers who accept OPT, CPT, you can search by that. This is really helpful for our international students. Of course, you can search by industry, you can search by job function, or you can search by majors. So like I'm gonna just put, I don't know why, probably because I had communication studies as an undergrad. So I'm gonna put, maybe I'll do mass comm. And I'm interested in only internships, and I want to get paid. And so I'll show results. And so there's 655 jobs that came up that relate to this. So business analyst, communications intern, this one's part-time and local. So if I'm curious about this, I'll click on it. It'll tell me the estimated salary. I can directly apply to this. Looks like they're looking for COM or English preferred. I match a lot of their requirements already. It'll pull the details from my profile to see if it matches what the employer was asking for. What does this company do? I would follow it so that if they are starting to search for talent, I'll come up in their search. And there's 3 alumni that work here. That is really interesting. So I want to know who these people are. And it will tell me the students who are actually working. I could message her as a student saying, hey, Julia, I am really interested in this internship and I noticed that you had worked for this company. Can you give me any insights into how that went or what they look for or best practices in applying? Anyone I might should reach out to or network with? So this is really unique to Handshake. It is not something that you'd find on Indeed or other job databases. So I think that that is a great feature that helps students start making those connections with, friendly peers. Employers just gives you insights into all the employers if you wanted to learn more about specific employers that are on the profile. So if I wanted to know really quickly if Apple has a profile on Handshake, then it'll give me their page, how many interviews they have going on. They have 1 job posted, Q&A sessions, so questions that other students have posed and that have been answered. What would you say are important traits to do well as a specialist at Apple? This is posed by this student, and then it was answered by an actual Apple employee. And then they talk about what they're looking for. And so other employees or current students who are working at Apple are answering these questions. So this is really, I think, again, a helpful resource for our students. Okay, I think those are the main areas that I wanted to just showcase for you as an overview. At this point in time, I think if you have any questions, I'm definitely open to your feedback. Okay, so we'll break for chat. I do want to mention, if you want access to Handshake, if you want to take some more time to play with it, please email me or Donna Rizondo. So she actually can give faculty and staff student accounts if you wanted to log in and see what it's like as a student or conduct your own searches. So if you work with students who are looking for internships in your field, in your major, and you want to start searching and saving some of those internship searches, the next time a student comes in, you can pull that up and show them the results or help them apply. If you want future demos or training for maybe your own staff or your team, your advising team, or any other ideas of, to best partner or support our faculty and staff in career readiness, feel free to just shoot me an email. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to stop recording and we'll have a chat. Okay, thank you.